Joining me now, Congressman Jim Clyburn of South Carolina. He serves as House Majority Whip and is one of the most influential Democrats in the entire region. He's been a major backer of Joe Biden. He played a pivotal role, some say the pivotal role, in the former vice president's South Carolina primary win, which projected him as the Democratic candidate. He's also the chairman of the House Select Committee on the Coronavirus Crisis. And Congressman, that's where I want to start with you. As much as I want to talk about politics, we are in a part of the country that is seeing a spike in coronavirus. It is remarkable to see at the president's rallies yesterday the continuation of this idea that it's not really a real thing. It's a media creation, and the fact that now the vice president has members of his staff who've got coronavirus. He's on his way to North Carolina now. He's not quarantining, and he's not canceling his trip. This is becoming a battle of, is there something called coronavirus or isn't there in this election?
Well, thank you very much for having me, Ali. I think the numbers are there to let us know that we have a very, very critical problem in the country dealing with this pandemic. And we've had anemic leadership coming from the White House, both with the president and now the vice president, having two of your close associates testing positive, and you continuing on the campaign trail, not doing what the experts say we should do. These guys just aren't taking this seriously, and I really believe that I was taught early on, leadership is as leadership does. And what they are doing is a total lack of leadership. And that's why people in the Carolinas and all across the South are showing a new attitude toward this administration and toward the Biden administration. Now, I know what the numbers are saying up in North Carolina, and I'm very pleased with that. We're not showing that good a number here in South Carolina yet, and that's simply because the algorithms aren't there yet. But between now and November 3rd, we think we're going to change some attitudes and some emotions, and I won't be a bit surprised to see Joe Biden win the state, and I think Jamie Harrison is going to win the United States Senate seat.
And I'm going to be talking to Jamie Harrison very, very shortly. Congressman Clyburn, let me ask you about something you said to Time Magazine this week. You said this election is much more than whether or not there will be law enforcement reform or whether there will be a cure for COVID-19 or whether we will have the economic development we need to create jobs. None of that will matter if Trump is reelected. If Trump is reelected, it will seal the fortunes of this democracy. It will be no more. There are some people who would say that's strong language from you to say that the reelection of Donald Trump may actually challenge democracy itself in America.
Well, Alan, you know, I've studied history all of my life. I used to teach history. I still consult with history on a day-to-day basis. And I know trends when I see them. And I know that when I was coming along back in 1954, we had a 9-0 Supreme Court decision against segregation, against second-class citizenship, in favor of those of us who suffered that history. Today, we have seen the court go now, after next week, it's going to be 6-3 against that kind of interest. We just had a Supreme Court 5-3 decision allowing Alabama to discriminate against people who are invalids, people who want to come to the polls and do curbside voting, as we have been doing forever. So Alabama said we aren't going to have curbside voting. So what kind of insensitivity is that? So when you see that kind of a trend, that's what I think allows me to say what I did. And I feel that very strongly. You go back through history, it's all there. Emancipation Proclamation, go all the way back to that. We thought that things were going well after Emancipation Proclamation, and we went into that period of time that we call a Reconstruction era. And then all of a sudden, the courts started making decisions. Starting in 1872, the Supreme Court started this ball rolling, and then Plessy versus Ferguson. And all of a sudden, there was 95 years between the 8th black person to serve from Congress from South Carolina and my getting elected. 95 years. And I see the same kind of trend. So when I consult history and see how the trends develop coming out of Reconstruction, going through Jim Crow, I see the same kind of trends developing now. We've got to arrest this cancer before it spreads.
Congressman, good to see you as always. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me this morning. Jim Clyburn is the Democrat from South Carolina. He's a majority whip in the House of Representatives.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.